I just spent a full month in Oslo and I made so many mistakes. So I'm going to share everything with you today, starting with a couple common mistakes that I see people make. And the first one is I hear too many people say, hey, Oslo is kind of an ugly city. It's maybe a little bit boring. It's not that great. And guys, when did we forget the lesson? It's on the inside what matters. And if you know where to look on the inside in Oslo, oh my gosh, this place is just magical. And it kind of leads me into the second mistake, which is too many tourists and visitors get trapped in this little bubble. I get it. It's where the water is, it's where the opera house is, and it is a great spot, but it is so not representative of all of Oslo, and you'll find the magic stretches well beyond that little area. So don't get trapped there, and I'll help you with that in a minute. But another common mistake is people say, hey, I'm here for the nature of Norway. Oslo is just a launch pad to access the rest of that. And sure, you can do it that way, but don't let people convince you, oh, you only need a day or two in this city. This city has so much to offer, and I think too many people just spend too little time here, and that's why the perception is a little bit misguided. So don't do yourself a disservice. Make sure you spend enough time here, and by the end of this video, you'll understand what you're staying for. And another mistake that I think people make is this is not a do city. This is a city to exist in, meaning there aren't a bunch of like big attractions where you're saying, hey, I'm gonna go from point A to point B and see this and see that. This is one of those cities where it becomes more magical when you just say, hey, I'm gonna take things slow and I'm gonna exist here. It's in the lifestyle. The magic and the beauty are in the small moments, and there are no shortage of those if you give yourself the time. So keep that in mind. And also note that a lot of people make a mistake with the food. Yes, this place is really expensive, but the food is outstanding. The quality on everything is really, really high. So just be prepared for that. I'll kind of guide you through that when we get to the food section. But that leads people into another mistake, which is thinking that high quality and low cost food is just non-existent. And that's just not true. Well, yes, you will have to pay up if you're wanting to eat in a restaurant and have that high quality. Grocery stores are great. There are so many wonderful spots to build a charcuterie board and do what the locals do and eat in a park, pack yourself a picnic. You do not have to have $1 million to come and enjoy your time here in Oslo. So I'll help you out with that in a minute. But another mistake that people make is they think that the locals are really just shy and reserved and kind of off-putting, and that's just not true. Well, yes, they are quiet and very polite. They're very warm and welcoming once you start having conversations with folks. And note that the quiet doesn't just mean that they're not talking, it also means they're talking at a lower volume. This is a country that really values its peace and quiet, so be mindful of that, but don't be afraid to talk to people. They really are very kind, so engage with folks. And also, don't make the mistake around what you're packing. What you'll notice here is that another thing that is quiet here is the wealth, and that is around like how people dress. You're not going to see people wearing name brand stuff. People aren't going to be flashy. It's all going to be high quality. It is going to be wealthy, but that wealth is quiet. So if you're trying to fit in, just no logos and simple is better. Now, before we get to overrated and underrated things, 5 quick logistical things that are just gonna make your life a bit easier. The first is you do not need cash. This is a cashless society, so just forget about it. Second is you'll notice this is an incredibly walkable city, but also it is dominated by bikes and scooters, which I think catch a lot of people off guard. The scooters are everywhere, really easy to use, and you'll be surprised they're a lot more affordable than you probably are expecting, so don't be afraid to use those. It's how a lot of locals are getting around. Third thing to note is that the metro and the public transit is so easy to use. I highly recommend it. And what's special about it is like sprawling. It connects you to some pretty far out distances that you'll see here in a minute. So don't be afraid to use that. And if you are going to use it, which you should, you're going to want to make sure that you download the Router app. It's the main public transit app. It's a breeze. Couldn't be simpler to use. You can buy all your tickets on there. You don't have to do anything else. And if you're worried about navigating the public transit or out in nature without having like cell connection, the trick that I used here is an app called Airlo. And if you're not familiar, it's an app that allows you to buy an eSIM, which is just a fancy way of saying, hey, this is how you can pre-purchase cellular data for your phone. That way, when you show up in Norway, your phone just works. I'm using one of these every single month because I move to a new country every single month, and I've been using these guys for years. I've tested like over 10 different eSIM companies, and I did partner up with these guys. It is an affiliate link, so you can get 15% off with code Camden15, also a link in the description, but it really helps me out, brings me the peace of mind, so I hope that helps you on your trip as well. Now let's talk about some of the overrated and underrated spots around town. And the first is the Serenga Sea Bath. And this is really close to where a lot of the tourists are going to be hanging out, kind of near the Opera House. And it's a sea bath, a spot where a lot of the locals on a nice day are going to be laying out, tanning, swimming. It's just such a cool thing to see. I am going to say it's overrated to swim at because I do have better spots coming up, but it is definitely underrated to see. But the next spot is Sandsvan Lake, and this spot is so underrated. And what's so unique about this place is you can actually take the metro and the last stop will drop you off at the lake. There are going to be so many locals picnicking and swimming and tanning and just walking around the lake. Like, it is absolutely beautiful, a stunning spot, and somewhere that you just have to check out if you want to get a better idea of that local culture. But I wouldn't actually recommend swimming in this lake because what you'll notice is this is where all the crowds are. But if you just walk 10 minutes, follow this path, there's a smaller lake that is like almost untouched. Some people know about it, but most people don't make the effort to get out there. And it is just peaceful, beautiful. You'll find a spot, swim in the lake. It is just gorgeous. One of the most magical experiences that we had in all of our time in Norway. So definitely make that extra effort and you'll be rewarded. Next up, your question is probably, should I sauna? The answer, yes. Definitely underrated, and it is a bit touristy, but this spot right here was our go-to sauna all month. It was beautiful. It was affordable. All you have to do is show up with your towel and a swimsuit, and it's just gorgeous. You're overlooking the Opera House, you swim in the fjord, you're hopping from sauna to sauna, like it's all floating. You got a cold plunge, like, again, just a really unique experience. And you don't even need to worry about making a reservation here, especially if you're visiting during the summer. Most of the locals will actually be hitting that spot more in the winter. When it's summer, it's kind of low season for their sauna, so it makes it easier for the tourists, and I don't think it's going to be something that you are disappointed working into your schedule. So definitely go check that out. Now, next up, we've got Big Day, which is an area of town that is just gorgeous. A lot of museums on this, and a couple things are overrated, couple things are underrated. The first thing I want to touch on is the Fram, which is the most underrated museum in the entire city. It was by far my favorite that we visited. Such a cool museum. You can take the ferry over to get there, and it's just a fun experience to get out on the water. The whole museum is so interactive. You actually get to go on the ship, which is incredible. Wonderful story, and you learn so much. Like, it just gives you great insight into the culture and the history. It was just phenomenal. I highly recommend it. Now, what I don't recommend and what is overrated is relying on the ferry to get back to town. We made a mistake here of doing the museum in the late afternoon. We took the ferry over and then we went and explored the whole area of town. And we didn't realize, oh shoot, the ferry stops shortly after the museum's closed, so we had to scooter back, which luckily was no big deal. But I will say it was worth us missing the ferry because it meant we got to explore Hook, which is this park and beach area that's not too far from the museums, and again, just gorgeous. A spot filled with locals, and yes, some other tourists know about this, but again, very different feel than the rest of the city. It's peaceful, it's magical, you get to swim. Highly recommend just exploring this area of town, and maybe take the ferry one way and walk, or take the scooter back. It really was a great way to spend a nice afternoon. Next up, we have the Matt Holland Food Hall, which I'm going to say is underrated compared to some of the other food halls around the city. So if you are chasing one of those, this one's in a local area, lots of good stuff where you can try local cuisine like reindeer stew. It was the best we found, so keep it in mind, nothing wrong with it. Now, these next two are going to be a bit controversial, so stick with me. The first is the main library, and I'm gonna say it's overrated for really one reason. It's a beautiful library, stunning work of art, but I think too many lists online tell everybody, hey, if you're a tourist, you gotta go see the library. I think it's just a little bit lazy, to be honest. It's not something that you have to see. If you love books and you love libraries, yes, go, it's for you. But if you're just gonna be one of the tourists who goes because somebody's telling you to, and you take a picture and you leave, there's just nothing really of value there for you. So don't feel like you have to center your vacation around going and seeing that library. I think it's a little overhyped. Then the second that is right next door to that is the Opera House. And don't get me wrong, this is beautiful. Everybody climbs the roof, you get great views, and it really is wonderful. I'm not saying don't go and do it. I am saying there are going to be better views in other spots coming up. Now, if you are wanting one of those better views, the Akershus Fortress is just a gorgeous place, and do yourself a favor and try to go in the late afternoon. all of the tour groups will be long gone by then. You'll kind of have the place to yourself, and God, it is just beautiful. Like, you're overlooking the water. It's so cool to explore the fortress. It's something that is completely free to do, and I don't think should be missed, so keep that in mind if you're looking for a view. Next up, we have the Frogner Park, which, is beautiful. I'm gonna say it's fairly rated because everybody does talk about this. There are gonna be tons of crowds, but gosh, this park and Sculpture Park, like, it is just beautiful. Like, there's so much to see there. You really should allocate like a solid couple hours to just go and enjoy. The art in this city is like, has such a distinct style, and this park is just like one of the great representations of it. It is special. It is a place that you should see. Do yourself a favor though, try to get there before 10 a.m. or like after 4 p.m. because again, tourists do come through here, especially with tour groups. They'll all be long gone if you can avoid those hours. So definitely a fairly rated place. My second favorite park in the city, which you might be asking yourself, hey, what's your first favorite park? And that award goes to the Eckeberg Park, which is just stunning. And it does take a little bit more effort to get up here. There is a steep climb, but once you get up there, gosh, it is just beautiful. Wonderful area to take a nice hike. But what's really special is the art installations are just scattered and kind of hidden through this forest. All of it just stunning. Like, you have wonderful views of the city and the fjord, the sculptures and the artwork. It's just, I mean, there's going to be something for everybody. One of the highlights for most people is going to be this like very pixel light place where like you go into the forest, they've got this beautiful music playing, there's lights hung everywhere. It's just really special. I really would make an effort to get up there and explore all the art. It is just so unique. Another underrated spot are the botanical gardens, and people make the mistake of thinking that you have to pay here. And yes, there is a paid section, but most of it is actually free and it is beautiful. So if you are here for a longer period of time, definitely something worth checking out. They really are beautiful. But if you're wanting an even more accessible spot, schedule some time to walk along this river in this direction. It is just beautiful, and you're going to pass through so many wonderful parts of town, see so many local hotspots, and it's just gorgeous. You might even see people floating down the river. It really is peaceful, and I highly encourage it. And if you do, once you get to this bridge, somebody somehow managed to hang a swing under here. And if you're willing to get your feet wet just a little bit or balance on these rocks, you can get out there, and again, just a really magical experience to swing on the swing. And if you do go, please come back and comment still here if the swing is still hanging. Once it's not, I'll take it off the video. That way we're not wasting people's time. So thanks for your help on that. But if you want the best view of the city that I found, at least, then you're going to want to make your way to the Vettekollen viewpoint. And it's really important to have realistic expectations here. Do note that this is a real hike. Now, what's unique about it is, again, you can take the metro, it'll drop you off right at the trail, and it is a really easy hike up, about 20 minutes, but you are going to want proper shoes, bring some water and a snack, but it is, again, a local hotspot. Super easy to access, 20 minutes up, and you'll have just gorgeous views of the city. So if you are looking for that real nature fix, this is one of the best options in the city, especially if you don't want to have to travel far. Now let's get into the food, because the food is wonderful here. I'm going to give you some high-level recommendations. All my recommendations are in a free digital download guide that I created for you. You can scan this QR code here or get it in the description. It's completely free, so I hope it helps. But a few of my absolute favorites, if you're looking for a top coffee place in town, Tim Wendelboe is just, it's the crown jewel for a reason. They really are doing something special here. It is pricey, it is a coffee experience, but it is fantastic and in a local area of town. If you're looking for a second coffee spot with that level of quality, try Supreme Coffee. They do an outstanding job. Great options there as well. But if you're the type of person who says, hey, I don't need the highest quality coffee, I want something good, but I really care about the environment, 2 spots for you. Farine is in a local area of town, beautiful setting. It's got outdoor space, indoor space, good products, and again, that local feel and charm, so definitely go and give them some love. And I spent way too much time at Kuro, again, in a trendy local area of town, really unique, good coffee, also have like a storefront in it. Really enjoyed all my time there, so go give them some love. But there's so many wonderful coffee options in this town. But let's talk about food. The top standout for me is a spot called the Little Pickle. I was here for breakfast, I was here for lunch, I was here for dinner. This place just knows what they're doing, guys. It's fantastic. Go and try their choux cream at breakfast. Go and do their full dinner experience. Definitely go show them some love. Now, if you're looking for a great restaurant with just immaculate vibes, there's a spot called Nectar, and you are gonna need a reservation here. This place is just vibes. It's cozy, and you should read my notes. It says, it's vibes and I'll protect it with my life. That's how strongly I feel about this place. I mean, it's just fantastic. A well-known hotspot around town. If you're looking for French cuisine, there's a wonderful spot called Le Benjamin. And again, it's one of the hottest tables in town. You do want a reservation, but they do a phenomenal job there. All wonderful. If you're looking for more of like one of those hidden gems, something that is really one of those local experiences that not many other tourists are gonna find, then there's a restaurant named Liminal. And this spot is just super cozy, wonderful flavors, really kind staff. You're not gonna regret going to that part of town to experience it. It really is great. But I did promise that I'd tell you kind of how to set yourself up for success if you're not looking to blow $1 million. So 2 options for you. The first, if you want just like local street food, this hot dog stand, don't expect anything fancy with it. It is just a hot dog, but it's really fun to try the traditional cuisine. Really cool owner, teaches you about the history of it, and it's just a cool spot to check out, and it'll only be a few bucks. But if you're wanting to kind of like build yourself a charcuterie board or pack yourself a picnic, this was the spot that I was at all month. It was where I was going for a cheap meal. Everything really high quality, really kind staff. They treated me so well. It's definitely a spot to go if you're looking to build that perfect park experience where you can hang out with the locals. You're not going to be disappointed. Also, if this has been helpful for you, feel free to subscribe if you want more videos like this. I move to a new country every single month, so I'm constantly putting out new videos, just trying to make travel a little bit easier and more meaningful. So you're welcome to join the community and contribute, and would love the support. Let's talk about what areas of town you might want to stay in based on the type of experience that you're looking for. The first is Bjørvika, and this is a beautiful area of town. It is very new, modern. The architecture is really something to look at, and it's really close to the center. For that reason alone, it does put you in good proximity to things, and it will be a consideration for most folks. It's not where I would choose to stay because I think it puts you a little too far away from what I consider to be the magic areas of Oslo, but there's nothing wrong with it. Second is the centrum, or the center of the city. This is that area that I said people get trapped in. I just can't really think of a situation where I would want to stay there unless I really needed to be close to the train station or really valued like the high-end shopping, but there's just nothing super unique about this area. I think it puts you far away from the magic, and just, I don't know, you're going to be one amongst the tourists. I think you're capable of better. The next area is Frogner, and this is a beautiful area of town. I guess I'll say if you can afford it, go for it. It's beautiful, it's very residential, kind of has that old money feel, very comfortable, and will put you in good proximity to most things, so nothing wrong with this area. Now, if you're not looking to spend that much, Grünerløkka might be the area of town that might be a good fit for you. This is a really young area, kind of hipster, artsy scene, lots of young people. I did spend a lot of time here. Obviously, I like to think of myself as young and hip. Great shopping, great coffee shops, great restaurants, just overall a really solid option. And by no means is it a hidden gem, but definitely something that I think will show you that magic and give you that more local look of Oslo. Definitely worth your time. Next up, we have Hanshaugen, which is a beautiful area, very residential, but it puts you in good proximity to really everything, in my opinion. I think it's a great option, especially for families or if you're here on a longer stay. It's actually where I stayed in this Airbnb. It was kind of perfect for us. We felt like true locals. The space was beautiful. Everything was comfortable. This isn't just like an IKEA decorated spot. Like, people actually live here. The hosts are wonderful and so kind. And I don't know, like, we just felt like it was such a cozy, peaceful month. We really grew fond of the place. So I'll leave a link down below if you want to check out this specific Airbnb, or scan the QR code. That probably makes more sense. So if you're like me and you chase those local experiences, might be something that you enjoy. So I hope that helps you out on your trip. But let's talk about how to get to Bergen, because there's a big question that people ask. It's, hey, should I fly or should I take the train? The train seems kind of long. Guys, it's no question here. Take the train. It is beautiful. It's the most beautiful train ride I have ever taken, but biggest tip here is make sure that if you're going from Oslo to Bergen, book on the left-hand side of the train because the most scenic stuff is easiest to see from the left side of the train, and I'd hate for you to miss that. If you're going from Bergen to Oslo, obviously flip that. You want to sit on the right-hand side. And if you are lucky enough to go to Bergen, watch this video because I spent a full month there and I made plenty of mistakes. Or if you just want my unfiltered thoughts on my time here in Norway, you can watch this video right here. I hope all this was helpful. If you have any questions, leave them down below and we'll catch you guys next time.